are the most common German stereotypes?
I feel like Germans don't have a very good sense of humor.
I agree.
Yeah.
One word I would say is bureaucracy.
Punctuality. When you hear, if you try to talk to a lady like on the street, like you quickly realize.
It's not where I'm coming from. It's not the same.
Yeah, I would say it's not like very common here to get approached on the street. Yo, I wanted to get to know you. You're so cute, and he was literally following me 3 blocks, and I was like, what the fuck? But then I was like, okay, I'll give you my number because you worked. It seems like you worked for it. Could be a little bit more chill, maybe because like the government is legalizing weed, so maybe.
As a guy, you don't get to spend much if you're dating in Germany. Yeah, I love all the feminists.
So
all the
you like
feminists
that
in the
one?
house.
I bet.
But for German is that if the book says it's one main road, we ain't no branching off. There's no branching.
Hello. Welcome to another episode of Onlyfacts podcast, and today we have amazing guest, and we have a returning guest.
Yeah.
He needs to get Red Bull or something because he has all the energy in the room.
I'm not ready for
Anyways, guys, welcome to another episode. I'm Jess, and with me I have Toby, and we have, I think I want him to reintroduce himself. Our very popular guest with strong opinions. We have.
Hi, I'm Lorenzo. I wouldn't say strong opinions though.
Okay, drum roll. Is it because it's the second time?
Do you need the drum roll?
Yes. And today we have a very special topic. So that's why we're having a special and amazing guest.
Yeah.
And to my right, I have Lisa.
Hey, nice to meet you.
Nice to
Hello.
meet you.
Nice to meet you
Lisa,
too.
can you like kind of introduce yourself? And
Yeah, sure. My name is Lisa. I'm very happy to be here, and I'm a German.
Okay. That was very important.
yeah, I think with the topic we have today, it's very important she said that. So today we'll be talking about the biggest stereotypes about Germans. And if this is your first time watching us, if you don't know, we're making this from Berlin, Germany. So we all live here. So we have foreigner, and we have a German here. So she's going to tell us, are we right? Are we wrong?
Yeah.
Is it
Yeah,
true?
We will see.
Okay.
I'm very excited. What do you think about us?
Yes, I think if at some point we're annoying you and we're saying everything wrong, you just start speaking German. I'm sure we wouldn't understand.
Yeah, I try. We will see.
Okay, so first thing first, Loretto, like how long have you been in Germany? Like how long have you lived here?
Yeah, so I've been in Germany for quite some time now. A bit over a year. I moved to Berlin December 2018. So I would say around 5 years and 3 months now. So, you know.
Okay.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
And you T?
Quite some
How long have you been here?
I think I senior you for 2 months, so
2 months, okay.
yeah, it will be 6 years this year. So I came October 2018.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. And me, I think about 6 years too. So yeah.
Wow.
And you, Lisa?
You were born
Oh,
here.
you were born here. So I want to ask one question though.
Yeah.
Were you born in Berlin? And
No. I'm coming from like a small village in Lower Saxony, so it's in the near from Hanover, and I'm basically living in Berlin since 2011.
Okay. So you've lived somewhere else, so you know
Yeah.
it's different from
Yeah,
Berlin.
I know. I have the perspective from a small village and
Yeah.
the big city.
We need
So
that.
And I'm sure since you came back, you've not been willing to go back. It's different,
No.
yeah.
The thing is, the first time I met, I was in Berlin, I fell in love into the city, and
Yeah.
I never want to go back. But I have a lot of like differences between like village people, Germans, and Berlin.
Yeah.
So I can
Yeah.
tell
Yeah.
the difference. Like if you're interested later.
And Loretto, just Berlin, or you stay somewhere else?
I'm just Berlin. I didn't stay anywhere for too long. If I was at anywhere, it was just for I think a month maximum. Yeah, because when I moved to Germany initially, I think I moved around November actually. So, but what happened was I had admissions in a couple of universities.
Yeah.
But the thing is, I've always lived in like big cities, so I went to the cities and I was like, no, I'm definitely not staying here.
Yeah.
So luckily I had admission also like in 2 universities and then Berlin as well. I think 2 or 3 and then Berlin. I just visited both of those cities. Which I had admission. I just didn't like it.
But you
so.
just still
Yeah.
so far you've only lived in Berlin.
So far I've only lived in Berlin full time. So
Okay.
that was why. Yeah.
And Toby, you
Reminds me of my agent also. Like someone helped me with my admission, and I got admission in I think it's Düsseldorf. I can't remember, and Berlin, and it's like I think you should go to Berlin. It's better for you there.
Really?
Yeah.
I would say Düsseldorf isn't bad.
I think
Düsseldorf is not bad, actually. Yeah.
I should have
And
tried
it's like
it.
in NRV, so you have so many cities around, so it's great. For me,
I have some friends living in
Yeah.
Düsseldorf as well.
For me, I lived in Hamburg for about a year, so I kind of have like, you know, a different perspective. Hamburg and Berlin is quite different. It's really different.
How different? Because people just tell me Hamburg is like a mini Berlin, so
No.
that's not really
Hamburg
understanding
is
of Hamburg.
beautiful, yes. It's so beautiful, but it's not a mini Berlin. The people there are more like cold, more into themselves.
Yeah.
Yes, and Berlin is so international, so I feel like most Germans have also adjusted to most a strong word. So like, yes, but Hamburg is more like, yes.
Yeah, definitely.
I feel Hamburg is like a kind of a mix of Berlin and Munich, but I don't know. That's my own, yes, because I've been to Munich. So I have this question, like, what was the first thing you'd say, like the stereotype you like ever experienced?
Interesting. Yeah, interesting because this was one of the first party I went to in Berlin. So I came in December. It was almost Christmas, so it was fucking boring because I just came in. I knew no one. So then I was I think New Year's Eve I was going to see like the fireworks at Bogota. So I had music coming from somewhere under the Potsdam Plaza Urban Station, right? So there was like a show going on. So I got curious because, you know, I'm a very curious person sometimes. So I got curious, like, yeah, you know, what's going on? So I saw one guy, I think him and his girlfriend. So when I lived in Nigeria, or a few months I spent in the UK, when you go somewhere, you see people, you just like, hey man, how you doing? You know, you shake and you're like, hey,
Yeah.
Friendly and more welcoming,
you just shake and say, hey, you know, I'm hearing this, what's going on in there? So I went to meet him. I tried to like, hey man, how's it going? I tried to shake him. He withdrew back. He was like,
I don't know you.
I know
before.
I don't know if you want to try to shake me. So, so for me, it was quite a bit of a change because the entire time, but in Nigeria, in the UK as well, it was the same thing. You know, you can easily just shake people and say, you know, this direction. So he withdrew back. So that was my first experience of, you know, how they can be. I mean, it's just the way, you know, the way I would say the way they are, right? So, but the thing was, it was nice enough to give me like, you know, tell me, okay, this is what is going on there, and this is what you're doing, but he wasn't just used to like random people.
We used to
coming
say not
shake him.
friendly.
Yeah, exactly.
That's why you want to put it, not friendly.
Exactly, yeah. So I would say not open. I would say
not open-minded.
not open,
Okay,
not open in that regard.
Why are you laughing? What happened to you?
So I brought my African time here. I think it was my Almedong or something, and I had the appointment for 10 o'clock. And normal me, I'm like, it's 10. No, I think I got there like 10:05.
Wow,
And like I went to meet the guys, like you're just coming now. I saw that as your time come, they put there's a screen in
it
the
shows
offices.
like your code and your
the
email.
code. It's like you have to look for another appointment. I was shocked, like just give me, it's not just to meet the official, yeah. So that shocked me. And like these people are actually very punctual. That was my I think the Germans are punctual.
Yeah, I agree until you go to your house or your doctor. You have to wait because I'm like, why am I waiting for 40 minutes and I have an appointment?
Yeah, that's true. But with like bureaucracy paperwork, I think they follow through.
Okay. She would answer that. For me, I would say one time in Hamburg, I was on a train and I tripped and I fell. Oh. You know, I was expecting everybody to say sorry, and everybody just looked at mine. They were like, back to my business. I'm like,
Absolutely.
oh no. And the truth is, I've actually lived in Italy, so I'm not saying they're the most open, but at least somebody will be like, oh, scusi, you're like, you know. But then it's like everybody just turned because someone fell, and they turned back.
You stand up now.
And I was like, what the?
Yeah, so are they cold like that? Like it's still cold, right? Or unfriendly? Not sympathetic.
Yes, I would say that's a strong word too, because you cannot, like you say,
I would just say cold. I would say you know, a bit more conservative.
More reserved. I would say, not that open.
Yeah,
especially from the first side. Like,
and Lisa, I have a question for you. Have you ever stereotyped someone, then you notice that I just did this thing, like?
Like if I have my own stereotype.
Yeah, no, like you've been in a position where, for example, maybe you just saw a group of people and you were like to yourself and you weren't the most friendly person, or have you ever been on the other side where you realize that, okay,
I like fit it into a stereotype. Yeah, probably. I wouldn't say that I've never did it. So I mean, especially like a few things you described, I can relate to this, but it's also a lot like situations you're dealing with because you're living in Berlin. For example, the situation you were talking about, I was constantly thinking about, okay, the way I change through, since I'm living here, I'm also more like, if somebody's coming to me, even though it's a friendly like purpose, I like, okay, you trying to steal something, get away from me, like, or I don't know, like, even though like I got also more reserved, so it's also about the big city, but yeah, I wouldn't say that I've never did it. So,
and do you think like moving to Berlin, big city, and also meeting people from different cultures has actually like shaped you and changed like your open-mindedness and everything?
The reason why I came here was because of the situation that here it's way more diverse and way more like a lot of cultures. So I think I was always like interested to be not those closed-minded person because I'm coming from a village when you are like, it's West Germany. And the reason why I came here was basically because I loved that it's so diverse, so a lot of like cultures, but of course like it made me even more like open and tolerant. So being here, living here, but at the other side it's depending. Like when I'm like meeting new people, I'm very like social, I'm very open. But when I'm on the street and somebody's approaching me, I said, "Get the fuck out!"
I don't want to do it. Like, I feel like people from different German cities and like West, East, or wherever, like they're different.
So I agree with that. So one of the biggest reasons I agree with that is that each German cities, you know, depending on how open they are, you know, So for example, people in Cologne, Hamburg, Berlin, Düsseldorf are a bit more open.
Because they're more international.
Than if you go to, let's say, you know, I think Munich, that's the only problem I have with Munich, right? It's international, but still it's still uptight. So that's the only problem I have with them, because I'm like, this is a big city that is very international, because when you go there, you see like a lot of international people.
I feel like they're even uptight to other Germans.
It's very uptight. So then what came to my mind is classism. Yeah. Right? Yeah. They're much more richer people there. So they try to be, you know, and what Lisa just said, you know, East and West Germany at the point also develop into that as well. I had this amazing conversation with a very old German folk one time. So he was telling me, because this is one thing I love about traveling, is you have conversation with the most random people ever. So he was telling me, right, that he used to live like in East Berlin, and it was West Berlin at that time. So he was telling me that, you know, people in West Berlin used to look at them coming from East as trash. Yeah. Right. So if you find your way to West Berlin from East Berlin, they're like, you know, you look like, you know, they look at you from like the lower standard of of the social status and all of that. So you need to walk your way up. So I think that also still plays a role till now, because some cities are just, you know, they're kind of like in their bubble. They're not exposed yet compared to Berlin, where, you know, because of too many foreigners, as a German, you have to be forced. You literally will be forced to get used to too many foreigners. Yeah,
I agree with you. Absolutely. I once had a job where I had to go to one city called Steinberg. I don't know if I'm correct, but it's after Oldenburg. And the company put me in a hotel. I was the only black person. And I'm not even talking about being black, or I'm just talking about how it's a small village and they're not used to seeing foreigners, because everywhere I went to, I was being stared at like, I was like, oh my God, if you don't hear from me in 24 hours. And the next time they're like, oh, I want to send you here. I said, hell no, I'm not going. I'm not going. Like, yes. And also this stereotype. I have a question. So what's like the dating stereotype? Germany, international, like I could say Nigeria because I'm Nigerian. Lisa, what would you say it's like? Oh wait, I think I want Loretto's opinion.
No, we need to
And
know.
then Toby, no, then she would tell me hers, like, so tell me.
No, I think the first
Toby-
question,
Toby, what would you say it's like?
Dating in Germany.
yes.
I think in Nigeria, it's easy for like a guy to walk up to you and like, I don't know,
Like on the street
Yeah, on
and
the
just say,
street,
hi
yeah,
girl,
anyone
or stop the car, hello
Yeah.
pretty.
it has only happened to me once here where a car stopped
And
and
tried to talk to you.
tried to and like, does he want to kidnap me? This is not
it's not normal.
like, or maybe it's not German and it's like maybe from somewhere else. So like I did not even answer the guy. I just went straight like, I don't know.
Yeah,
This is strange.
that's the Nigerian thing. It's happened to me here quite a few times. And probably maybe in Nigeria I would have just stopped and tried to have a conversation.
Yeah.
But here, since I know it wasn't normal, I was like, Like it happened one time I went to the mall, Cardiff, and I was trying to buy something and somebody was like, oh hi, and trying to talk to me, and I'm like, or the other time when we went to we had coffee to Cardiff, and the person was like, do you come here often? And I'm like, why are you talking to me?
Yeah.
Do I know you?
This is
And
not
was he German? Was he
Yeah,
German?
Yeah.
Why? And what would you say about that? Because actually, if you're in Nigeria or something,
It's
I
normal.
know, they're just like, hey, beauty, they call you stuff,
Yeah.
and they try to talk to you, and in a friendly manner, and so.
Yeah, I would say the Germans are a bit schizophrenic, if you want to say this, because we are always saying we would love to have it. So on one hand, but on the other hand, if we're gonna have it, we think, oh my God, why is he approaching me? What he wants from me? Do I have a pimple on my nose? Or what is happening? Yeah, I would say it's not like very common here to get approached on the street. And when I experience it in Berlin, it's most of them are not German. And
Yeah, they're always
also,
international
like
people.
more international people. And yeah, I'm always saying I love my Germans, but they need a lot of alcohol to get a little bit more into the mood to be brave. And
Maybe if you meet them at the bar,
approach a lovely
maybe they'll be like,
lady.
hi.
Yeah.
Yes,
So, and obviously you're not drunk on the streets when you're not a homeless or so yeah, you need a party or at least a little bit beer because we love beer as well.
So, Lisa, can you tell us, what's it like dating in Germany, or do you have different views from us? Because
Yeah, I would say like dating in Germany, it's basically now these days it's more about online dating. It's very hard to get to know a person in real life. Or you're going to parties. I mean, I don't know about Nigeria or other countries, so it could be also the same because we're living in a digital world.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's shifted to the
Online
online dating and parties or clubs.
this is a very personal question, but then if you've been in that scene, yes, online dating, and have you ever been with a foreigner? Like, did you try to maybe date someone from some other place?
Yeah.
And was it quite different from what you were used to with Germans?
Yeah, I mean, I was my past relationship. We met through Bumble.
Okay.
Where you have to do the first step as a lady, like the empowerment part.
Yeah.
So and then we met each other, and it was quite different because we had the language barrier. So before, I basically was dating, people with German language, not necessarily just Germans, because you have a lot of people with migration background. But this was the biggest thing, the language barrier first.
Okay.
And
Maybe,
have you dated some Germans? I'm curious about it.
Yeah, no, I mean, if I can just add, so there was two main things I found very interesting in terms of dating in Germany, right? So was one, 90% of the time is online dating, which is weird for me at that point in time, because I'm like, it's easier to just know, if we're gonna have some sort of vibe, or if you like a person, if you see them in person and you talk to them from the initial point rather than just talking to a random person online. Then two, which is my favorite, as a guy you don't get to spend much if you're dating in Germany. Yeah. That was that was that was
I don't know what to say. I'm allowed to agree or disagree.
Yeah, of course.
But let me explain it, please.
So because you're not entirely a German lady, so this is why you wouldn't agree, right? So from my experience as a Nigerian, even when I lived in the UK, when you go on a date, like there's no conversation. You're just expected to pay for everything and pay for the date, right? So my most intriguing thing is, I love all the feminists.
So
All the
you like
feminists
that
in the
one?
house.
I'm begging.
All the feminists in the house. When you go on dates, most times you're not even expected, and most times they're like, let's.
Have you watched
split
our
it, let's
episode
do
on
it.
dating?
Yeah,
I think you should go and listen to it. It's really interesting.
No, I did. Lucky for all you guys, I was in there. But I can tell you categorically, it's been very interesting because I find it really more. I would say much more honest and much more open, because then people are like already from the first date.
The thing is,
I
I need to add something because this is
no way.
No,
This is
say it.
important.
No, of course
I'd
you
rather
can
not
say
say
it.
that.
Why not? Why not? You
what
can
do you
say
have
it.
to
I
say,
need to
Lisa?
add something. Like I know this is very funny because like we like our social the way we are like my waist, I don't know, like it's like equality a big part. So but it's also a thing, and this is maybe, I don't know, maybe you know this as well. It's also more a sign like if we going on a date and the guy is not suggesting to pay, we are very offended because we think he doesn't like us. So
You hear that?
it could be also
Like
I'm just talking for German women, but we are also offended. But we are also using it. We are also using it. I using it when I have a date and I don't like it. I'm saying, oh no, I'm paying for myself. Like just this as a sign.
Bring out your card.
So,
of
yeah.
course.
Very different experience though, because it's not like they
cannot pay.
Yeah, exactly. But the thing is, if they're offering to split it from the initial point, why should I really bother?
Maybe they're not interested in you.
Oops.
So this is what
True, absolutely.
this is what I'm saying.
Absolutely true. Absolutely true. I also understand as well.
But
I also
I would
understand.
say
Yeah, that's
there
also a
are certain
possibility
type
as well.
of women who does this as a feminist part because they want they don't want to be like rely on the guy. So it could be also this.
At least the good thing is they're not interested in me, and they're still not a gold digger as well.
Yeah.
But because you paid for someone's meal doesn't make them a gold. Like no gold, are they digging?
But the point is, if you're not interested in someone,
where's the gold?
and you see at any point, you kept on going, right? So let's say we go on a fancy date, right? And we're like talking, we're ordering drinks, we're ordering food, we're ordering everything, and then you find out from like 10 minutes or 20 minutes afterward that you're not interested. What we should be doing is how to run it up, right? So if we kept it
for
going,
me, I would even pay for you, for real. I will pay for you.
And I would absolutely appreciate that.
We have to take this to another. This is another conversation. So I don't want to drag it here, but I don't know why some Nigerian guys equate buying something, food, to go digging. How much is the meal?
Okay. So maybe I came in too strong, right? So let's take away the word go digging. That wasn't what I was trying to reference.
Okay.
So even.
Yeah. So my reference is at least one thing I've noticed is when you're dating in Germany is the other person is trying to get to know you and trying to make it a two-person kind of thing when you're dating, right? So that's why they're always like, you're not the only person doing everything. It has to be two ways. It goes on to show not just from dating, they also have it in terms of like, in terms of like family,
friendship
in terms of
too.
friendship,
Yeah,
in terms
I was
of
going to say that.
in terms of being a couple where they're not just expecting you to pay for everything, let's say the housing, the food, so it's kind of like that ingrained mentality. So that's what I'm trying to say in terms of that point as well. So they also take it to dating.
Sorry, Lisa.
I just wanted, because I don't want to lose the thought, because you asked me what my experience. I just wanted to add, because I'm living in Berlin for a long time, so basically my whole dating life. But I'm saying all the time, if I would have stayed in the village, I would already marry it and have 5 children. because and this is very important. The way you're used to get to know people in the village or in a small city is way much different than in Berlin, because you're going to, it's called Schützenfeste, so a lot of like festivities, or when you go to club things for football, for example. So this is an advice, like if you find a hobby here, like, I don't know what you like, chess or football, or you go to a club and maybe you find your future husband or your future wife way more easier
than online
on the streets. Maybe online now compared to on the streets. So they love just these environments.
Okay.
Here.
Yeah. Okay, that works. That's great.
So yeah.
Wait.
And learn what you mean in the shoes of
very
talking to a
interesting.
German girl. That's
very
what I do.
interesting.
Have you ever been in those shoes?
So, when it comes to dating, in Berlin or in Germany, it's very, I find it very fascinating, very interesting. There are pros and cons. So there are pros and cons. So the only thing is my biggest shock was, of course, when you hear if you try to talk to a lady like on the street, like because you can meet anyone you like anywhere, so when you try, you quickly realize this it's people kind of
it's not where I'm coming from. It's not the same.
It's not the same, yeah. But the only thing as in Nigeria, you wouldn't think about it too much because
it's normal.
Because one thing we know is when you approach someone, it's either a yes or a no, right? So it's either they want to have drinks or coffee, go to the movie with you, or they don't want to. So we're already used to that notion. So even if I experience it, I don't see it as a very big deal.
Yeah.
Right. Unlike I think sometimes some people societally they're not like very strong with taking no for an answer, or they feel too bad about rejection rather than just accepting it and say, okay, that's a no, because at some point you've also found a yes, at some point in your life as well. All right. So that's that was the first thing I noticed, but there are lots more others which are super great as well. I'll get back to that later.
I have such a funny story. Like one time, like I was very sick and I was walking to the doctor, and I had like AirPods in my head, like I did not hear, like I was listening to music. But then all of a sudden a guy came, stopped me and was like, yo, I wanted to get to know you, you're so cute. And he was literally following me 3 blocks. And I was like, what the fuck?
Stay away from me.
But then I was like, okay, I'll give you my number because you were like, you worked, it seems like you worked for it. So
Okay, what are the most common German stereotypes? What comes to your head and you're like, oh, those are Germans, that's German. Like, that was the most common one.
I would say punctuality. So that's the most common one. So I mean, interestingly, but at least it has also helped me. I used to be like, the only thing I wasn't late for was appointment with either appointment that I know is going to be that has some financial applications, or appointment with the Auslander office. Yeah. So those were the only 2 times where I give myself extra 30 minutes at least each time. So I used to be late a lot of the time. So that was that was the most shocking one, because like, I don't know, not so patient or not like laid back or relaxed, compared to where I'm from. Yeah. So that was like the highest for me.
I get you, and I feel like that's a good thing, because when it comes to appointments, because when you delay, you affect the next person. Like my last girl, she's always like, oh, when I'm 15 minutes late, she's like, Jessica, if you're in 1 minute, we have to cancel, because then the next person has to wait. Because you're going to take from my time. For me, one word I would say is bureaucracy. Oh my God. I feel like when you say German, you say it's so like...
It's so much paperwork.
T, what would you say?
I don't know if this is just me, or like, I feel like Germans don't have a very good sense of humor.
I agree. Lisa's gonna be that, but it's fine. Because I'm like, and when something is funny to them, I'm like,
not funny. Depend on the sense of humor, though. They have way darker humor than light humor.
Okay.
Yeah. Because, I mean, for me as a Nigerian, there's some limit I wouldn't take. So let's say I see someone in a wheelchair, for example, right? So I probably wouldn't make fun of them, except they are my friends. Right, but a German person can make fun of someone in a wheelchair, right? It's just their sort of humor at that point in time. So it's more of understanding, sense of humor of each person.
That humor.
Yeah, but that's also funny, because when we also talk about that, we talk about maybe 500 people can be here, and we're just saying a random joke, not laughing at someone in a wheelchair. Something that will be like, oh my God, ha, 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 and everybody's going to be like... And or a situation where like your colleague at work tells a joke, and just because it's your colleague and it's not funny, you're
not funny. It's always not funny.
But you're always laughing. I tried to laugh, but it's not funny.
Which other one? How about you, Lisa?
I think cold.
Yeah, cold.
No, she would agree or disagree. She wouldn't say.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I would say cold because also like I travel a lot, so like when I go to the UK, for example, and I go to the store, they're like, "Hi, good morning. What do you want? What do you want? Oh, thank you. Have a nice day." I was like, "Hello, Mikate BT.
Yeah.
Thank you. Choose." It's always like robots, and somehow it has gotten so used to me that last time I was in London with her, and you were like, "Hello," I said, "Please, can you just get let me just." Then also the bureaucracy part, what would you say? Like the bureaucracy.
It's very high here, bureaucracy. I mean, like, I'm coming, like, I only lived here, so I can't like know how it is in UK. But I've been with a lot of friends. They are not from here, and then they're telling me, "Oh, Lisa, this is too much." But the government, they're trying to get rid of the bureaucracy, but I would say we have a lot to do. Like, it's too much. And what is annoying even for me is, even though we are living in Berlin, you need to speak a lot of German for a lot of things, like especially when you go to the governmental places. And it's sometimes like they're challenging you as well, because I was in a relationship with a guy from England, and I was helping him, and they challenged him like, "Can you speak German?" Like, and I'm like, "Oh my God, chill!" Like, I'm always thinking, okay, we could be also a little bit more friendly, a little bit more chilled. Like, it's not a thing like I would say, okay, we are like happy that we are so reserved and stuff. We could be a little bit more chill, maybe because like the government is legalizing weed, so maybe I always think the Germans be a little bit more chilled. I hope for the people.
And there are some stereotypes that we didn't mention here that people always say that's actually not true at all. For example, that you've heard somewhere and you don't agree with.
I don't know. Like, can you have an example? Like, which stereotype?
Maybe like we don't mention.
So this is so I realized this a bit, like later when I moved to Germany. So this stereotype I used to have, and even my dad as well. Like when we talk about cars, like it was always going on about like German efficiency. So because my dad is also like big into history, so he's always like German like efficient and this and that. So one thing I realized when I came here is I wouldn't honestly call it efficiency. I'll call it being a stickler for the rules.
Yes.
Right. Being a stickler for the rules, because for example, in America or in Nigeria per se, is we try to find ways like around stuff. So so if we can get to somewhere quicker and cut like a lot of this stuff out, we will just fucking do it. So it's like, so let's say there's one way to Alexanderplatz here. So for people who don't know, Alexanderplatz is like the city center in Berlin, right? So if there's just one main road, right, and then if for in Israel or in America, we say, hey, instead of following this straight road, can we like go through these bushes and and get to that same location? But for German is that if the book says it's one main road, we're not branching off. There's no branching off.
We have to go through. We don't cut corners.
We're going through that main road, right? So we're not going to try. So if anyone is going to try, let the government start trying to make a part in the bushes. We're not going to go make part in the bushes. It has to be somewhat of coming from the rules. So that's my understanding. That is not efficient, but just
do you agree, like the follow rules? And you agree? Mm-hmm.
I would say like, I mean, I think the majority is like that because we are so used to follow the rules. But I could agree. And I wouldn't say I have a stereotype which I would say, oh my God, this is
not
just
true.
super not true. Okay. But I would say maybe a lot of people are cold, but if you like get to know a German better, like maybe it's taking more time, but we are lovely people as well.
Oh no, of course. I know.
It's just taking a bit more time, maybe.
I have something to say concerning that. I was talking to a friend who's German, and he was like, most people, the thing is, most foreigners don't even make the attempt of actually learning the language. I understand it's harder. I feel like when you know how to speak, it's easier for them to like maybe you have a different experience, but then you can talk and you can, because I used to think sometimes when you ask people, do you speak English, and they say kind English, I understand them, because imagine, because I started attending German class and I understood that. Imagine you come to me and my English is I gone home. Like, do you understand? It sounds funny. It would be so. I feel like they're not. They can speak some of them, but they know that it's not the best. So they're
just
not
try.
No, you should try to learn.
No, honestly. So I'll tell you one thing for me is, at any point if I can't speak German, the first person I blame or what I say is, I should be doing this, right? Yeah, right. So I'm never in that bubble of mind say, you should understand English. That's absolutely fucked up. If I'm in my country and you come into Nigeria, so the official language of Nigeria is English, and you come into Nigeria to speak German to me, I would be like, dude, what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah.
Right? So officially, the spoken language is German, right? So I still feel, they've been leisure enough to be able to understand English because, historically, I do not need to go into all of those details, right? So, but at the same point in time, I think English speakers are more subtle if you cannot speak English than Germans. That's one thing I can say. What I mean by this is, if let's say you go to the US or you go to Nigeria or you go to South Africa and you're trying to speak English and your English is not good, we understand the context of what you're trying to say. Because you say, so instead of saying, I'm trying to go to this location, you can say, I go here. We're here, like, just the challenge say we're here, So we can understand the context of what you're trying to say and try to give it the direction, right? But when you came to Germany and your German is shitty, you're like, because I have some friends sometimes, if your German is just shitty, you just say that let's just talk in English. There's no need to go too deep into any sort of conversation. So sometimes it can be difficult for them to understand the context of what you're trying to say.
German has like this, that.
Even the customer service are not willing to hear you out
because it makes
but I'm trying.
No,
but your language.
If you are 5 years, you should be speaking. At this point, I don't speak well, but I would go with. I know
some people would say German is hard, like in the ears too. Like I think I see Spanish people talk. It's not like I know Spanish, but I feel like there's some languages that are easier to learn.
It is, yeah.
Oh, the German is hard. Of course.
Yeah, it is. I agree. I'm not saying it's not hard, but I'm saying that when it comes to that part, you cannot blame them.
Okay, what I'm trying to say is that as he explained, English, the person necessarily does not have to know the old English. They come to you and explain, I go here, I did this. But if I go to a German and try to do that, some of them are not even willing. Like customer care, you want to try to speak small German to them. They're not willing to even hear you out. They can't speak. That's what they'll say. Like if you cannot just say small German or say the whole sentence as they want it, they're not interested.
I also agree.
I totally agree with
but
that.
sometimes it's always so. I went to the hospital. I was like scheduled to have a surgery, and I had a conversation with the doctor before my surgery. So you talk about your process, how it's gonna be, your health conditions, and then he was speaking German. I was like, I only speak English. He was speaking German. Then the first thing he checked was how long I've been here. Because then it's like, you're this long? Like, he's like, at least you should have made an effort. Then I feel like if it was 2 months, he would have said, okay, you just came.
You just came.
And then if it's so, yes, that's something I would say. So one thing I'm going to say is, if what would you say to someone that's coming to Germany or Berlin? What should they think of? What, like when you were coming, maybe you had this, oh God, these people are like this, these people are like that. What would you say to someone actually coming to Germany?
Yeah. I mean,
let's
honestly,
not say Berlin, because it's like Germany, because Berlin is very international.
Berlin is different than the other
Germany.
No, honestly, for me, coming to Germany was never my first choice, to be honest. So that was why I was in the UK for a bit, and then I visited Berlin, and it was, really interesting. So I decided to move here, do my masters in Germany. But then it was just like, no, not in Germany, but in Berlin. What I would say is just be patient. Be patient. Try to adapt. For me, one thing I do whenever I know, I cannot talk a lot of Germans and I'm trying to make them speak English with me is I go in as patient as I can be, and as calmly and nicely as I can say it. In German I say, hello, this is me, this is my name. I'll try to speak German, but my German is not good. It's shitty. Can you speak English, please? And then they can tell me, yeah, my English is not so good. I'm like, just, yeah. Then I'll be like, yeah, it's okay. You can talk to me with that English. I think it's better than my German. So I just try to put all of this into a context in German, right? And then they start talking German to me because like we've already observed, Germans can be very reserved. So, and sort of like, efficient and stickler for the rules. So if they're not too sure about something, they try not to do it at all. Okay. So that's why you need to make them feel comfortable to be able to do it. So my point is just, be patient.
They should be patient. Okay.
Be patient. Try to, try to explain a few things.
Okay.
And just, try to like follow some of the rules as much as you can.
Okay. And Lisa, I'm so curious. What would you say to a foreigner coming to Germany? What would you say? Like,
the thing is, I would say it's depending what you want to do here. Like if you're just being here for like a certain time, 1 year, 2 years, it's different than you really want to
like coming to
live
study
here.
or
You want to start over, or you really want to
live here.
Live here. So, but I would agree with, of course, being patient, especially when somebody is, I don't know, being not so welcome to you. That it's not. It's not about you.
Yeah, it's not really about you.
It's not about you, or I don't know. Like sometimes maybe you, even me. Like sometimes because I'm more, I would say more outgoing and social than maybe others. And then sometimes I'm thinking, what did I do wrong? But it's mostly not about yourself. It's more about that Germans need a long time, and I think as well patience is important.
And T, what would you say?
One thing I would like to say is I've heard it a lot. Like when I was coming here, I heard it, and I also heard it from like people that want to come here or that just randomly think about Germany. Say they're racist. Yeah, once or twice I've experienced this, but it's not like that is like their everyday life. You don't just come here and they're all like racist to you. You don't just stick to the old UK Canada thing. You can explore this place too. It's not as bad as you think, actually.
Yeah, and if I can add to that as well, I totally agree with you, because I'll give you the biggest example. I and a friend of mine, we wanted to find an apartment together in Berlin, and we moved like deep down into East Berlin, where you have like the suburban area, like old people and family people, right? The only thing we're hearing from everyone was like, don't go down there, those people, that's East Berlin, they like racist and all of those. But honestly, I will tell you, I have the most amazing time that I've had anywhere in Berlin. Like literally, if you're walking on the street, everyone is saying hi, hello.
Really?
Yeah. We had like like in our building there was a lot more old people, and we play music. We have people over. During COVID, we were having a lot of house parties, right? And they never complained once, except for one. For one freaking guy from another building that was complaining. But everyone in our building was absolutely friendly and everything. I mean, there was one time where our neighbors, some old couples, came to give us wine on Christmas.
Aww,
right?
That's
so
cute.
Everyone was super sweet, and we had an amazing time there. And we were literally, I think, if you walk to like 10 stop, that's where you start finding the next black person from our tram at that point in time. So sometimes I don't believe in stereotypes anymore, but I just rather get to know people individually, I would say.
Okay, for me, I would just say learn the basics, not because of anything. If you have free time and you're planning to come here, the best thing you can do for yourself is just learn the basics of the language, the numbers. If you just 1 to 10, I know it's going to sound off and funny, but honestly, it's good if you know how to say hi, hello. Like
Definitely. Yeah.
when you go somewhere new, at least you should be familiar with something. If you get to the airport, you see welcome, and whatever in different languages. Just try. When I mean basic, you can just even learn to say my name is. That is something.
Yeah.
Just learn.
Do you want to teach us now?
And be open-minded.
Wow.
I have to say.
Yeah.
We can tell Lisa to teach us some of
And be open-minded. It's very
easy one
important
we can
because
say in German.
if you go somewhere, you need to know it's different from wherever you're coming from. It's
True.
not a German thing.
True.
I like to travel, and if you're not open-minded, traveling will be difficult for you. Like I just got back from Marrakesh, and I experienced. I'm African, and it's an African country, but it's totally different from where I was from. So you have to be open-minded and just learn the basics. So
I agree with you, because the thing is, we are very, very happy when we see a little bit glimpse of, like, you know, a little
you made an effort.
You made an effort, you know, the little things.
True,
like
true.
Hallo, guten Tag, wie geht's dir? But also a little bit of the history. If you know you're in Berlin, you know it's East Germany, so you know the basic, then we are very happy.
So that's what I would say. And I think we're coming to an end of this episode. It's been so much fun. And then if you're German and you're watching us and you felt like we missed something or we're wrong about something, or maybe because Lisa now lives in Berlin and she's open-minded,
She's more international now.
yes, you can leave a comment and let us know. And if you're a foreigner or an international person anywhere in Germany and you have a different experience, just let us know. You know, it's exciting when we get different views.
Yeah.
And I would like to say thank you so much, Lorento. It was great having you again.
Pleasure as always.
And Lisa, thank you.
I hope it did not feel like a hot seat though.
I'm coming for the part 2 because I have the feeling I have so much more to say about the people.
I think we went great then, because when a guest is like they want to come again, they really have a good time.
It was a pleasure.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for the invitation.
Anyways, guys.
So now we're promising part 2 already. So now you guys,
not promising.
you guys should get excited.
We are not promising.
Ask all of your questions in the comments, and if you're an international in Germany as well, you know, tell us how you fit into and how you were able to, like, you know, maneuver through the stereotype, and you know, get your foot on the ground. Yeah, so we know as well.
Anyways, so thank you so much, and please don't forget to follow us on Spotify, YouTube, subscribe, because we have new episodes every Friday. The last episode I had, it was so much fun. I wasn't around. I haven't watched it, but I had so many things went down. And if this is your first video, then you don't even know me, Toby, or Book, your other guests, then you should go back and try to watch from episode 1. It gets more interesting. Thank you so much, and see you next Friday.
You gotta like to.
Bye.